Hey, Merrick here with the Movement Real Estate Group. I had some friends and clients asking me about being a first-time buyer. What does it mean? What does it cost to get into the market? So without further ado, here you go. Quick video on first-time buyers, what to expect, what the costs are out of pocket. So first thing you can expect is zero realtor fees. That's right, I work for free. Just kidding. When you are listing your property, what happens is the listing agent will take a commission from the seller and then he will split that commission with the buying agent. So you are actually, when purchasing, not paying any commission out of pocket to the real estate agent. The seller is paying a double commission. So zero realtor fees. Your notary or your lawyer that will do the conveyancing, they're typically going to charge anywhere from around $700 to $1,200. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to say $700. And we'll go from there. Inspection. Sometimes when purchasing, you're going to want to get an inspection. Obviously, always recommended. They'll let you know what's going on in the home. That's going to cost you anywhere around $400. Property transfer tax. What's property transfer tax? Well, I'm glad you asked. Property transfer tax is a money grab. No, but seriously, let me get into it. 1% of the first 200,000, 2% on the balance, up to 2 million. So if you're buying anything over 2 million, it's going to be 3% on that number. And if you are buying anything over 2 million, give me a call. So an example of that would be a home purchased around $650,000. You're going to look at $2,000 on the first $200,000, and you're going to look at $9,000 on the balance of the $450,000. So that's a little example of property transfer tax. If you were buying a home at $650,000, you're going to be spending around $11,000 in property transfer tax, and that is out of pocket. Now, sometimes you're going to be like, well, Merrick, isn't there an exemption for property transfer tax from the first-time purchasers? Oh, I'm glad you asked. The exemption is for Canadian citizens or permanent residents who have been in British Columbia for the last 12 months, or they've paid 2 tax returns in the last 6 years. They've never used the exemption before, and the purchase price of the property is fair market value is under $500,000. So there's a partial exemption up to $525,000, but if you are purchasing something that's over that, you are going to be fully taxed for property transfer, even if you are a first-time purchaser. So again, if you're a first-time purchaser under $500,000, you are going to be completely exempt from property transfer tax, which is great. And also another exception is if the property is over 1.24 acres, then there is no exemption for property transfer tax, but you will not find a property that's 1.24 acres in the Fraser Valley for less than $500,000. So it's a moot point. So, first-time buyer, realtor fees, zero. You're going to look at notary, $700 and $400 for the inspection. Property transfer tax, let's just say that we're buying something under $500, so zero. GST on the purchase. Now, what is GST on the purchase price? It's only applicable if you're buying something new, whereas property transfers will now not be applicable because you'll be paying the GST if it's a new purchase under $750,000. So we're going to assume that we're not purchasing something new, so we're not going to get into GST more than what I just did. Down payment. What's your down payment? Well, I'm glad you asked. Down payments in BC are under $500,000 for the fair market value. You can put down 5%. Anything over $500,000 up to $1 million, you're going to need to put 10% down to purchase that property. So let's talk about that as an example. If you're buying something for $700,000, the first $500,000, 5%, you're going to need $25,000. The remaining $200,000 at 10%, you're going to need an additional $20,000 for a total down payment of $45,000. Simple math. So, first-time buyer, realtor fees, nothing. Notary, $700, inspection, $400, property transfer tax, nothing. GST, assuming it's not new, nothing. Down payment, 5-ish%, and CMHC. What's CMHC? Well, I'm glad you asked. CMHC stands for Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. It's mortgage loan insurance. It's required from the lender when you are putting down a low ratio down payment, so less than 20%. So the lender is going to make you pay for insurance for them in case you default on your mortgage. So what does that cost you? Well, if you are a 95% borrower using your 5% down minimum down payment, you're going to be looking around 4% for CMHC. So let's say you were buying a condo in Abbotsford. Its condo's $350,000, nice 2-bedroom, beautiful view, Mount Baker. You're really excited. The realtor fee, nothing. You're not paying me anything. Lawyer, notary, $700. $400 for the inspection. Property transfer tax, again, 0 because you're under the $500,000 cap. And you're going to be looking at a CMHC is going to be around 4% because you're, again, 5% down. So you're going to look at $13,300 in that CMHC. Your down payment is going to be $17,500 for a total out-of-pocket expenses of $18,600. That CMHC is going to get wrapped into your mortgage typically. You can pay it out of pocket in the beginning, but most of the time it's wrapped into the mortgage. If you were purchasing a home in Abbotsford, let's say, you and the wife, you're both nurses, you're both making good money, you both work, so your first time purchase is going to be a home. Let's say it's $650,000 BC box, nice little place. So you're going to purchase that for $650,000, realtor fee again, nothing. Lawyer, $700. Inspection, $400. Property transfer tax. Now remember, we're over the $500 cap, so you're going to be looking at an $11,000 hit on your property transfer tax. It's going to be $2,000 on the first $200,000 at 1%, 2% on the balance of $9,000 cost. So you're looking at an $11,000 charge for property transfer tax on your new home, even if you are first-time buyers, both of you. GST, it's not new, so you're not paying GST. Your down payment is going to be $35,000. CMHC is going to be $24,600, which is again wrapped into the mortgage. It's not, you're not paying that initially out of pocket if you don't want to. So your total out-of-pocket expenses are going to be $47,100. So roughly, you got to save about $50,000 to buy a home in Abbotsford if you're a first-time buyer. Which, coincidentally, you can use your RSP money. Both people can pull up to $25,000 of their RSPs and use that towards your down payment. If you pay that back in 15 years, you're good to go. Talk to your money lenders about that. So, recap. Realtor fees, nothing. Lawyer or notary, $700. $400 for an inspection. Property transfer tax is nothing. Typically, if you're under $500,000. GST, if it's not new, you don't have to worry about. Down payment, anywhere from 5 to 10%. And your CMHC is going to be up to 4% depending on how much ratio of a loan you're taking. So that's it. That's the introduction for first-time buyers. If you have any questions, please reach out. Again, my name is Merrick with the Movement Real Estate Group, and we're happy to help.